While yesterday's episode was uploading onto YouTube, I went back down into my workshop and I fixed that broken board. Or at least I tried to fix it. I think it'll be okay. It won't be quite as good as new. Actually, where the glue is, it'll probably be better than it was, but the glue isn't everywhere, unfortunately. It'll be good enough, though. But you know what? I figured out what happened. I figured out why it broke. That was the board on which I got that bit of a catch. Remember I was telling you that I had a bit of a catch going on there? And that's where it was. The reason I know is because I can see the pencil mark on that board. And that's the only board where I used a pencil mark. I marked the first one, cut it, and then I used that one as a template for all the rest. Yeah, and you can see that that the cut is a little bit ragged there. Well, that's because that's where the blade, when I plunged it down in, it grabbed a little bit, and it pulled the board apart. Yeah. At the end of yesterday's episode, I was talking about the fact that there were labels on these boards. And I don't know if you can read it from back here, but it says 12 by 96 laminated whitewood panels. Okay, well that's fine. We know that it's only 11, a little over 11 inches, not 12. But that's not what I want to talk about. Right now what I want to talk about is it says here, from legal origin. And I'm sort of wondering, or I did wonder, what is that? And I thought, is that sort of some kind of weird, convoluted way of saying that we can call it 12 when it's only a little over 11? And then I thought, well, that doesn't make sense. So I Googled it, and all it means is that the people that did the logging had permission to log. The lumber mill was probably paying its taxes and, all the rest of it, and everything was being done in an up and up way. That's what I understand it to mean when it says from legal origin. It has nothing to do with the fact that it says 12, but it's really only a little over 11. But I want to tell you a story. Well, it's not a true story. I'm going to make it up. But I think you'll kind of get my point. Here in Canada, we buy our gas in liters, like probably most places in the world. And my little Forester has a gas tank that holds 61 liters. At least that's what it says. Now, I'm getting low on gas, so I pull into my favorite service station and I go to the self-serve and I stick the nozzle in and I start to fill it up. I know I was pretty low, so I'm kind of curious, how close to empty was I? So it gets up over 50 and I'm thinking, it's pretty low. 55, it's really low. Then it gets up to 60 and I'm thinking, I must have just been running on the fumes almost. Then it goes to 61 and I'm thinking, my goodness. Anyway, it goes 62, 63, 60, and up to about 85 liters. Well, I know that's impossible. Anyway, I'm checking underneath the car to make sure that maybe I'm not pouring it underneath instead of into the tank, and everything sounded right. I could hear it going down into the, into the neck of the tank, and when it gurgled back up, it kicked off. Everything was normal, and yet it said 85 liters. So I go in to pay and I say to them, that's impossible. I've only got a 61 liter tank. How could it be 85? Oh, they said, that's the way we're doing it now. Because it was 85 liters before we refined it. I think I made a pretty good analogy here. A little over 11 inches, but they call it 12. My tank is only 61 liters, but the pump said 85, and yet they can legally get away with that? There's something wrong here. Why are we putting up with this? Okay, this is all I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to mention this anymore. Okay, our board is glued together. Got some screws. charged my battery. Okay, now this one that's been glued together, we want to make sure that's going to be at the back, because this is going to be the base. I got lots of room to work now. I was going to use my pneumatic nailer, my brad nailer, and I've changed my mind. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to drill a few holes and use screws and glue it together, and it's not going to be fancy. Doesn't take too much to tire me out. I know there's been a lot of negativity in the last few videos. I just cannot get enthused about making this case. And it's rubbing off on me. Now I realize that I've only got 4 screws per side, but then this joint is glued, so it's going to be pretty strong. And I want to remember that this one here that's got the damaged piece, that's got to be the back. Okay, so that's the way it's going to go. This will be the base, that will be the top up there. Yeah, coffee time. Actually, I think I'm going to call it quits for today. Thanks for watching. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully we'll get more done.